Which just came to check on the watermelon situation and the worms. See if he can get himself a snack. Didn't work out. So, friends, hello. It's another week. Time to feed the worms. If you missed our last video, you're welcome to go check it out. But, spoilers alert, we harvested tier 3 finally. And, that went pretty well, I think, all things considered. So, this week, we're gonna we didn't feed any of the tiers last week just because they all had food in them. So, this week what I thought was there's a good chance I'll probably overfeed just because of the limited number of worms in here that, are because we put most of them out on the porch in the urban worm bag. So I thought, let me defrost some watermelon rinds because that always goes quickly and it'll be a good judge of how many worms are left in here. And then I was just looking at my notes because tier 4, the bottommost tier currently, I wrote down in my notes that was the tier that we're starting the starve cycle on next. And I'm not really sure how many worms are in there in general. So I thought, let's check on that first and see if we need to bait the worms so we can help remove any that might be in there. We don't want in there. So let me get these off and then we'll get into it. We got our nice afternoon sun over here causing some cool reflections in here. So don't see this and think, oh my god, why is it green? It's green because, well, it's green because there's a reflection on it. Alright, so this is tier 4. And yeah, there's some worms in here for sure. Probably more than I'm giving myself credit for. There's a decent number of them in here. So my thought is I think we should try and bait some of these worms and use them to start tier 3, the newer tier. So I'm going to go ahead, and even though we're technically supposed to be starving this tier, what I'm going to do is find like a nice corner like this where there aren't really a lot of worms, put some watermelon rinds, and then see who comes over, and then we'll check on this in a few days. I think it seems like a good idea. So I'm just going to take a few pieces of watermelon, not a lot, because we're technically starving this tier. But I'm just going to put, boom, a few pieces in, and then I think that should be plenty. And then, technically we're starving this tier, but one paper towel just to help make sure we're not freezing anybody. Not that these are they're cold, they're not frozen though. Would make me feel better, plus it'll protect from potential bugs. So we're just gonna boop, 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 put this in here. Perfect. And then just because I'm gonna just go ahead and put tier 3 that we just restarted without worms back on top here. We can go ahead and just check this while it's here. This is mostly dry. There's a few sections that feel damp, but most of this is wet, although it does smell lovely like tea. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and make the call that we need some more moisture in here. So I'm gonna do that by getting some pre-used paper towels and wetting them and putting them on top. I didn't really wring these out. They're still dripping a little bit. I think that's okay. Most of these paper towels are just ones that I use underneath my cutting board or something like that, so that way it doesn't slide. But there's usually nothing. I try not to put anything that could hurt the worms in the pile here. And also just pointing out, I don't think there's actually going to be any like crazy amount of water that comes out of there. But my thought is, even if I let this sit for a couple days, come back, the paper towels have dropped all their water into the cardboard shreds below, I can re-wet the paper towels really easy. So this is one way to gently soak up water in one of these tiers. Okay, on to tier 1. So tier 1, I wrote down that this one had a medium to few amount of worms in it because it's a slightly newer tier. And so I just generally want to take a look. There's a lot of bedding in here. Let's see what this is. This looks like paper towel mush. Yes, hello worms. I don't know, there's a decent amount of worms in there. I don't want to disrupt everybody, but I want to look in this back right corner because I believe that is where some of the last feeding was, that we were like, oh no, we can't feed. So I don't see any food over there, so they must have finished it. Let's do a middle feeding. I feel like a middle feeding is the place to do it. We're gonna give these guys kind of a lot because it's watermelon, so it's gonna go quick. But I think they need food. They haven't had any. So I just put a piece of paper towel down really quick just to help with the cold barrier. And then that will, this is still cool because, it was frozen this morning and it's been defrosting. But I don't want to freeze any of our worms unintentionally. So giving them kind of a lot of watermelon to be honest. Got some drips. And so I'll show you guys what that looks like here. Boop. That's all the watermelon, which is kind of a lot, but also it's watermelon and they go crazy over it. So it's a lot, but it's gonna go quick, I think. Or I could just be getting really excited about all my worms and then thinking they can do more than they actually can right now. Or at least with that number of worms. Okay, one more tier to go. So we're here with our tier 2, and I just wanted to show you guys how bare the top was. Nothing crazy on it. Nothing crazy at all. And I wanted to just show you guys really quick our renter mess check. If you're a renter like me and you're worried about the mess, this is all that got put on the floor from the tiers, and I think it's mostly because I accidentally kicked one, but really not a lot. So we're going to use this paper towel to go back in. But I just wanted to show you guys that in case you're worried these would make a mess. Okay, so tier 2, let's check and see. You know what, I think I put it on backwards. I did because the number is over here. Yeah, I believe of all of our active tiers, this one has the most worms in it. So that being said, I want to just kind of do a perusing and be like, okay, there's worms here. Like, we're not going to do a lot. Like, I don't want to disrupt them too much, but I just want to see, like, are there worms everywhere? Because I might use this to help split up, not split, well, maybe split some of the worms out of here to help jumpstart our next tier. What was that, tier 3 that we were working on? All right, so I see worms everywhere. I don't see any food. So what will we do? Oh, wait. Oh, there is just a random grape here. Okay, well, that's fine. We're going to just try and gently move some guys out of the way. But all in all, there's no actual, like, real food in here. So we're going to give them, you know what? Let's go crazy. Crazy. Actually, this might not be my best idea ever. Let's find out. Okay, so we made this nice big pile in the middle. I'm just looking at the pile of watermelon. That's kind of a lot of watermelon, but it is worm crack. So we're going to be back here anyways in a couple of days checking on the worms for the other tier that we're baiting. What is that, tier 4? So if we put a lot of watermelon in here, there's a good chance we'll get a nice turnout, and then maybe we can just take some of the worms out of tier 2 as well and move them into the next tier with some of the food. So that would be really nice. So I have 2 pieces of paper towel down, and then, you know what, let's just put a third one in the middle just in case. And then let's do it. Let's give them some worm food. Some real worm food. Alright. We're just going ahead and breaking up some of the pieces that froze together. And clearly got a little lazy to cut all of this up into smaller chunks, which is fine. They'll make do. But it's not, it just means it's a little slower of a breakdown. But that's okay. That's okay. They're going to enjoy it all the same. So we're going to cover it up lightly and loosely with some of our existing bedding in here. But I'm not going to put too much additional on top of it because I think it's going to be okay, and we're going to check on it in a few days. But let me show you guys what it looks like. I feel like we made like a watermelon burrito in the middle here a little bit, but that's okay. Oh, hello, little friend. Little do you know, you're going to go down and get some watermelon. Okay, well, I think I've debatably overfed some of these layers, but I think they can handle it. I don't want to second guess myself too much, but I think watermelon is its own kind of game because it really is a lot like crack to these worms sometimes. So it very well is probably just fine, and I'm overthinking it. But you never know. So that concludes this week's feeding. Make sure you're subscribed so in a couple of days when we start beating these worms out and scooping them up and starting tier 3 with actual worms, you can check that out and see what that process is like. If you want to see some more right this second and the other video is not up yet, you can go back in the link that talks about all of the videos and just look for one of the titles that include the word baiting in it, and I bet you'll probably find what you're looking for. And that's it for me, friends. Have a good day. We'll come back in a couple days and check on these babies.